Today's video is sponsored by all of you. If you haven't already, go to patreon.com/Timcast and become a patron today to help support my work. There are several tiers to choose from, most notably Tier 1, which gets you access to behind-the-scenes videos, bonus videos, and commentary. Sometimes this could be travel or art, or me just talking to somebody on Twitter who has bad political opinions. Your support on Patreon helps me do the work that I do and is greatly appreciated. Think about that future, where you're sitting on Facebook and you start to see messages, political messages, posts that are specifically targeting you to make you do a certain thing. Perhaps we're already living in that future. Have you ever been talking about something with a friend or family member, and then moments later, on Facebook or Twitter or somewhere, you see an ad for the exact thing you were talking about? It gets even creepier. Have you ever had a conversation about something you never post about, and then you still see an ad? Because it happens a lot, and I'm sure many of you are going, yes, this happened to me. It's happened to me several times. The other day, I saw a tweet from Carl Nasman. Do you suspect Facebook is eavesdropping on your conversations through your phone? Have you ever gotten a creepily perfect ad in your newsfeed for something you were just talking about? I'd love to hear your stories. For a story I am working on, reply here or DM. And I responded to him with a story about me and my brother. See, we went to Walmart to pick up some incidentals. I don't know, some groceries, maybe eggs or something. I can't remember. Something that didn't even matter. And I saw on display this big box in the middle of the aisle. It was like $300 for a TV. And you may have noticed the TV box behind me in several of my other videos. And I thought, this is a big TV, and it's on sale for like $300. Well, my TV is pretty much broken, and I'm like, this is a good deal. I'm gonna get it. So I buy it. Come back home. It was on a whim, by the way. Bought it on a whim. Just like we saw the deal, and we're like, yeah, we should probably get this, because my TV is kind of broken, and we need this. You know, like I usually have the news running, so it's good to have. I unbox it, I set it up. Very proud of myself. And my brother gets an ad on Facebook for the exact same TV at Walmart on sale. What are the chances? What are the chances that this was just a coincidence? Right? There's a thing called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, and or the frequency illusion. And that's when you hear a word or notice something, someone tells you about something, you start to notice it more and more often. It's that joke where so you buy a car and then all of a sudden you see them everywhere. And what this is, it's just that you've been thinking about it, so now you notice these things, whereas in the past, you didn't really notice them. It's just an illusion. But what are the chances I didn't notice these ads targeting me, or my brother didn't notice these ads targeting him about TVs right when we went to go buy a TV? It seems pretty crazy, right? And certainly a lot of people have similar stories. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna break down some of the reasons why this happens, and it gets really creepy. Carl Nasman tweeted day 1 of his experiment, is Facebook listening? Now, before I go on, I want to explain a bit about what he's doing. He's got a brand new phone with a brand new account. It's never been used before, and he is not posting on this account. He is simply speaking words near his phone. The goal is to find out whether or not Facebook or other apps are actually listening to your conversations. Certainly, there's a lot of reasons why you might see an ad for a certain product at a certain time. But what about when you speak certain words? Will you get ads for those words? Carl says, I chose 3 keywords, all unrelated to me, to test if Facebook is eavesdropping on my conversations to serve related ads in my newsfeed. Guitar, diapers, and vegan. This post popped up in my feed just 20 minutes ago. Coincidence? And sure enough, he has the hummus kitchen and a post with vegan in it, which is interesting. Because as I said, this is a new account. He's not posting about this. Why was he being fed a story from a company about vegan food? Wired has a story from last year. Hundreds of apps can listen for marketing beacons you can't hear. In the most inconspicuous hustle of all, apps have increasingly incorporated ultrasonic tones to track consumers. They ask permission to access your smartphone microphone, then listen for inaudible beacons that emanate from retail stores, advertisements, and even websites. If you're not paying attention to the permissions you grant, you could be feeding marketers information about your online browsing, what stores you go to, and what products you like and dislike without ever realizing it. So why did my brother get an ad for the TV we had just purchased? Well, I can't say definitively, but it's entirely possible, he's using Android, that there was a beacon at Walmart when we walked past these TVs. and perhaps his phone picked up that inaudible ultrasonic sound and then told his apps we were in an area with these TVs on sale. Now, one of the things that always bugs me is that I'll go to Amazon, I will buy something, I will specifically say, I just bought like a zucchini peel, right? I want to make, it's like a zucchini spaghetti. I don't know if you've ever had that, but you take a zucchini and it slices it with this little thing, you crank it, makes like noodles. It's really, really healthy, really awesome stuff. And it was like 12 bucks. And I'm like, yeah, I got me a little zucchini slicer. And then an hour later on Facebook, it's trying to advertise zucchini slicers to me. Why are you trying to advertise things to me that I already own? That seems pretty dumb, especially when you consider that I had just bought the TV and then it delivered an ad to my brother who was with me at the time. But it's possible that they don't know whether or not I bought it, so it's a safe bet that they think I may have seen it, was maybe thinking about it, and then wanted to deliver an ad to me. Although I do find it kind of strange. Again, I don't know exactly why this ad was served, because it kind of doesn't make sense. If we knew the TV existed was on sale and we didn't buy it, the ad's not going to convince us to buy it now. But possibly, maybe, it was one of these beacons. Wired talks about some researchers looking into beacons. They said, beacon technology is also showing up in more physical locations. While the researchers didn't find any ultrasonic tones being broadcast out on a sampling of television programming from 7 countries, they did find that 4 of the 35 retail stores they visited around Germany did have beacons installed. It was really interesting to find beacons at the entrance of some stores in 2 German cities, says Erwin Quiring, a privacy and Android security researcher who worked on the study. It affects all of us if there's some kind of privacy invasive technique we don't know about which runs silently on our phones. Now, beacon technology might be a simple explanation for these weird coincidences. It could be that you walked past a store that had something on display and then later talked about it, and they were already having planned on serving you that ad before you talked about it. It could be a coincidence. There have been instances where I started playing a song on my guitar, on my acoustic guitar back there. I was playing a song, it was Aeroplane Over the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel. I don't listen to that song, I don't own the MP3, I didn't open Spotify, I didn't search for it. It's just a song I used to play when I was younger and I thought I'm gonna play it. And sure enough, I turned on Spotify a few hours later, played the damn song. It is possible that these are just coincidences, because they'll happen. You ever pick up your phone to call somebody and then right when you did, they called you? It happens, and some people win the lottery. So oftentimes it might just be a coincidence that we overanalyze, that we think more into. But there could be more to it. Aside from beacons, it could also be the fact that you are giving Facebook and these social media platforms access to everything you are doing, everything you love, everything you buy. They know. A story went around a few years ago, and this is from Slate. June 9th, 2014. What's even creepier than Target guessing that you're pregnant? The story talks about what's scary, but it says, it was scary when a statistical model deployed by guest marketing analytics team at Target correctly inferred, based on purchasing data, that one of its customers, guests, a teenage girl in Minnesota, was pregnant based on an arcane formula involving elevated rates of buying unscented lotion, mineral supplements, and cotton balls. Target started sending her coupons for baby gear, much to the consternation of her father, who, with his puny human inferential power, was still in the dark. Spooky to contemplate living in a world where Google and Facebook and your phone, and geez, even Target, know more about you than your parents do. So why might you be getting ads served to you after you talk about something? Well, it could be you were acting in a certain way. You were posting about certain things related to something else. See, computers are really smart, sort of. Computers are as smart as we make them to be, but they can calculate much better than we can. So if you talk about cheese, bread, and tomato sauce, and then an hour later say, I'm hungry, I want pizza, don't be surprised when Facebook sends you advertisements for pizza. You were talking about things that were related. And we can break it down even further, because it's not necessarily, look, cheese, sauce, bread, obviously we're talking about pizza, but if you broke it down even further and said dairy, tomato, wheat, they still might be able to see, based on your behaviors, how often you post, when you post about eating. They know that you're hungry, they know you're talking about dairy and tomato, and what's the best guess they can make? You're thinking about it, maybe you want pizza. So maybe this is a lesson in toning down how much we use social media. And it's tough, because social media is most of what we do. Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, we're talking constantly. And you don't even have to be giving away key information. You could simply talk about things that are somewhat peripherally related to a certain idea, and the artificial intelligence, the algorithms, can calculate exactly what you will probably be thinking about because you thought about these other things. Now, isn't that freaky? We're coming to a point, or I should say we're at a point, where the computer systems are predicting our futures for us. Hey, maybe that'll be a good thing. Maybe that'll end world hunger or end war or something. But for now, all it's doing is creeping us the fuck out. Unfortunately, it doesn't end here. Facebook can track who you know using the dust on your camera. Creepy patent reveals how the site can connect people by studying smudges in photos to see if they were taken by the same lens. The story is pretty much straightforward. We don't need to go into great detail. But this is how it works. You get dirt on your camera, and your camera has tiny fingerprints on every photo you take. And so it knows, based on who is in those photos and facial recognition, who you know. And from there, it can calculate almost everything about you. Maybe that person in your photo is a conservative. Now they know you're conservative. Maybe that person grew up in Minnesota. Now they're going to start calculating where you lived. How do you know this person? And when that connects to every other person that person knows, it creates a massive network where, guess what? The machine is probably gonna know everything about you and your friends, and that's the future we're living in. If the goal of some of this algorithmic intelligence is to get us to buy products, then what will they do to make us buy products? Advertisements are trying to get us to buy things. So will the artificial intelligence then decide when is the best time? Who is the best person? And yes, this is exactly what's happening. Think about that future where you're sitting on Facebook and you start to see messages, political messages, posts that are specifically targeting you to make you do a certain thing. Perhaps we're already living in that future. Maybe there's a machine running everything. Maybe it's a great crazy conspiracy and no one's really in control. Well, I don't really think we're there yet, but I can certainly say we're walking right into it. And I'd imagine everyone agrees with me. You know, we know what's happening with social media, with fake news, with these targeted ads, and now we've got weird machines broadcasting sound into our phones. We've got computers predicting whether or not teenage girls are pregnant and then sending ads to their parents, getting them in trouble. That's the future we're building. I don't know what you do about it, but it's damn creepy. So let me know what you think in the comments below. We'll keep the conversation going. You are being spied on. You are being manipulated. You are being controlled. And it's not by a person. It's by machines built by people, by systems, by computers. Welcome to an episode of Black Mirror, I guess. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned. New videos every day at 4 p.m. If you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter. You can support my work by going to timcast.com/donate. Again, thank you all so much, and I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m.